your time is over. I don't see any gallant calls. I don't see an inch of grief except to leave me bleeding, 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 bleeding. And fried, fried, taken to the side, body twitch from side to side, and cry, cry, taken to the side, body twitch from side to side, and run, run, rain on, run, 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 you gotta run.
Julian Cope is an English musician, singer-songwriter, and author. He was the lead person of the band The Teardrop Explodes from 1978 to 1982, and they released 3 albums, although one of them was after they stopped existing as a band. Wikipedia lists for Julian Cope 38 albums, I think I counted right, since then, solo albums. He's also done all sorts of side projects and collaborations. He is known also for being an author. He's an antiquarian and, he's written on antiquarian stuff and archaeology, and as a musicologist. And I probably know him best as being the author of Krautrock Sampler, which is a seminal work on krautrock. He is known for being anti-establishment, anti-Christian, pro-paganism, and pro the occult. He is a political and cultural activist. He's also a novelist. He's controversial, but he's definitely interesting. Hi, my name is Dan. So this was the second solo album by Julian Cope, and it's my first encounter with this album. I do have one of his other albums. I think it's a later album. So this is a curious musical mixture, I would say. If it reminded me of anything, it reminded me of the Beatles in some ways, but it's more less polished, more rough around the edges, I guess. Sunspots I want to pick out as being particularly odd because it uses a tuba instead of bass, and I think that track probably is the one that reminded me most of the Beatles. Some tracks are kind of minimal instruments and singing, so it's got a little kind of lo-fi feel to it, and it's kind of rushed. It feels like, just want to get it done and get it out of the way. Now, I know that this was the second album that he released in the same year, so it's only 6 months after the previous album, so that maybe contributed to this. It's also got kind of mild shades of psychedelia to it. And maybe that's where I get the kind of Beatles feel from it. But also I think that kind of the use of chords and tunes are quite Beatles. So it's kind of pop rock, I guess, I want to say. He obviously has lots of creative energy. And musically it's, diverse and sometimes interesting. The singing's okay. His voice he's got this kind of early 80s kind of tone to it, which of course it is early 80s, so that makes sense. He does sound like he's going to be a singer from a popular 80s band from the UK, which is exactly what he is. I find it curious how voices seem to go in fashions. And I don't know if that's people change the way they sing to fit with the fashion, or if it's just those particular voices become popular at particular times. The songs are a curious mixture of stuff. So all sorts of interesting things going on here. There's folk tales, there's mythologizing his own life. The end of the first track, Rain on the Fox, is particularly intense and weird, which references to an incident that happened in his own life. Overall, it's okay, but I think I don't really get it. I didn't find it musically exciting, so it hinges more on the songwriting, and the songwriting's kind of left field. So some people will like it specifically for that, and I can understand why some people would like it, but it didn't really do it for me. So, excuse me, I'm just having a little meltdown in my tech here. There we are, we're back. So it's kind of, it's okay. I can see why it's here, but it wasn't that exciting for me. So that's what I think. And as always, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think of this album, please, by leaving me a comment. My next review will be of Keine Macht für Niemand by Tom Steiner Schirmerman. That's it from me for now.